Hey everybody, it's your girl Angela Kotz here with Ghost Hunting Beauties. We've got two special guests with us today, and we're going to be talking about some haunted real estate. Hope you're ready for today's show. Ladies, welcome. Today we have Ashley and Lainey from the Haunted Real Estate. Yep. So if you have not listened to this podcast about haunted real estate, you are missing out. These ladies go on about some of the most haunted locations you've ever seen, some of the spookiest places that you may never want to see, but they've got all the details for us today. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having us.
And you're making us blush. You're too kind.
Well, I'm so excited. I'm glad you guys got to come on to the show. I know we have so many things to talk about. So I think we're going to start off and tell us a little bit about yourselves.
So I'm Ashley. I am a real estate agent in the Houston area. So I love real estate, of course. I also was a history teacher, and I love history.
Oh,
so
nice.
I love focusing on the history of properties, especially if it's got spooky backgrounds. Lainey and I kind of grew up on horror, and our mom was a huge fan of horror. So,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just getting nervous.
I'm so sorry. I'm just going to laugh the whole time like I'm stoned.
She's not stoned.
You're good. You're good.
That's why that's making it into the podcast.
Oh, definitely. 100%.
It's fine.
So horror movies. So you liked horror as well?
Absolutely, yes. Our mom loved horror. Our dad loved action. I feel like we just had a lot of access to movies that were scary and horrific for our childhood. But
yeah, they were. I mean, yeah, mom didn't have a whole lot of, boundaries or rules on us watching horror movies. So we were pretty young.
Yeah. I was definitely under the age of 10 when I saw Rosemary's Baby, Amityville Horror, The Shining.
So you were acclimated by that point.
Oh, yeah.
I watched it as a mini-series with my mom when it was on live TV.
Oh, my God. That movie terrified me.
Oh, yeah.
Were you scared?
Yeah. I was scared.
Especially as a kid watching it, because it goes after kids.
Yeah.
It's extra scary.
Yeah,
it's like watching something about the boogeyman.
Yeah. And then, but mom was also very, never allowed to, sleep in her bed or anything like that. So it was definitely yeah, you can sit and cuddle with me while we watch this, but you're going to bed and you're shutting your door and you're not coming.
She's like, deal with it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. I didn't once sleep in mom's room.
No.
We weren't allowed to.
I did. I was the baby, so
I
would always be like,
well, there we
I had
go.
a bad dream. No, I didn't. I just want to sleep on the floor next to your bed.
No, I would go sleep in Lainey's room. We shared a room for a long time growing up, but then when our brother and sister were born, we didn't share a room, and I would go in Lainey's room and just sleep with her if I got scared. I would just get in her bed, not even ask permission. I'm just getting in and
just
going to
climbing
sleep.
in.
Yeah, exactly.
But a fun fact is our mom, she loved spooky stuff, of course, but zombies, I'm a huge fan of. Ashley likes, but not as much as me. I've seen everything zombie, from American to Japanese and Korean. I love it.
So you're like zombie aficionado. Is that a thing?
Yes.
It is now.
Right,
Yes.
now it is.
That's my title. Anyways, we tried to be extras as zombies for Walking Dead. We didn't get it, which is so unfortunate because I think I do a good zombie sound.
We send each other a lot of the little audio texts, and Lainey will just send me her best zombie sounds, and then Casey and I will sit there just dying laughing.
What?
Yeah, we watched. Lainey watched Last of Us when it was live, and I was kind of I'm kind of burnt out on the zombie stuff, so I waited till the season was over, and then we watched it, and then Lainey would send me her version of the way that, what did they call the zombies?
The click. I can't do the clickers. Yeah, I can't do
but
that.
We would try, and it was hilarious.
Oh my God. So you guys were sending audio clips to each other. I mean, this is the perk of being sisters. It's she gets me, I get her.
Send each other your weirdest, because the clickers made some weird sounds.
Yes, I don't know how they make those sounds on those shows. Those are crazy.
I'll have to send you a video of it afterwards. Watching their faces.
I'll get included on the text chain. There you go. I'll send you mine.
Sending you weird, just
It's our audition.
You'll know what it means.
We're like, hopefully Steven Spielberg will see this one day and we could be in a zombie movie.
Finally!
I feel like I could audition for E.T. at this point with all the wigs I have.
Oh, yeah.
Lack of skincare and wigs, and I'm E.T. All grown up, I'm like, oh, I'm back.
That's awesome.
Well, I'm so glad you guys came on today. Haunted real estate was something that, we're always looking for haunted locations. So when we're getting ready to film, we do a lot of research. So before you guys talk about a haunted location, what kind of research do you do?
Well, I mean,
we do it differently. So Ashley was a history teacher and is a realtor. Mm-hmm. When we started, I had been laid off, so I didn't have a job. So I was like, yes, this is perfect time for a podcast.
Right, there you go.
Exactly.
But I have an IT background and a fashion degree. So
nice.
I don't research the same as she does.
So two different methods.
I was going to say, what's your fashion degree have to do with the way you research?
Well, I went to school for something else than you did. Like you have the gift, I guess.
The style.
Yes.
The style.
So she put together the layout, so I try to follow that, but I kind of listen to things and watch things and read things like over a period of time, and Ashley will like go into a hole and just like stick with it.
I do.
Like she likes to do that, and to me that feels too much like homework. Like it's
Well,
no
you're
longer
like, no.
fun for me to do it like that way.
She's the teacher. She's all about homework, and you're like, no.
I just go down rabbit holes all the time, and then I was like, I thought it would be so fun for us to do a podcast because I like to do it anyway. So let's talk about it together and record it and see if anybody wants to listen to us.
Heck yeah. Yeah. Do what you love. So do y'all have any other background in the paranormal, like any experiences you've had that maybe got you interested in haunted real estate?
We've had experiences, yes. I guess we could start with our mom. She, one time at Thanksgiving, she told her younger brother and sister to leave the room, and me and Ashley were sitting there with my mom and stepdad. And
we asked a question, and she's like dismissed them or something. I can't remember which of us asked a question, and she just dismissed them. And
I think Mom was just being weird, but
our mom has since passed away. She passed away in 2016.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
But she was like, girls, there's a ghost in the house. I see her all the time. I feel a weight on my bed sometimes. I feel like I feel somebody walking past me, or I feel the air get colder. Somebody's brushing next to me.
Ooh.
And she always saw this little girl upstairs.
So we had a two-story foyer. Mm-hmm. And so from the living room, there was a window that was really high up. So she could see from the living room some girl walking around upstairs. Ooh. And our youngest sister, she's very blonde. So this ghost girl was dark-haired.
Mm-hmm. So definitely not
she knew
her.
It wasn't Laura. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we still don't know what happened there. We think maybe Indian burial ground because of the neighborhood is Fairfield, and it was new development.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Our house was brand new. It was being built when we first looked at it. So.
Right. Yeah. Personally, I don't know about Indian burial ground just because I haven't heard
we
any.
just talked about it. We don't know what happened. We don't know where she came from.
I think it's easy to say that with the U.S. just because Native Americans predated.
The whole country is an Indian.
I was going to say everything that everybody was. They didn't have the headstone and markers like they have now. And like from our previous podcast, we learned that after, I think, 100 years or more, they can move the headstones. So a lot of these neighborhoods are probably being built on burial grounds, whether it's Native American, whether it's just a cemetery that was unmarked, or a family cemetery, family plots, people who sell their land. I mean, you buried your family in your backyard, especially if you had enough land. So you could be right there. It could be that little girl.
Yeah, so true.
Don't know what that story is, but when we first moved into that house, again, new construction. Lainey and I had a Jack and Jill bathroom, so like if we left our doors open, I could see to her bed and she could see to my bed. Aww. And I remember I was turned away from her direction. I was facing the window and I was sleeping, and I heard Ashley, 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 and I turned around. I was like, what? Because I thought it was just Lainey.
Yeah.
And I see Lainey over there asleep in her bed. And I was like, what the heck? That was weird. And that always stuck with me. And now, and I think I had this realization on the podcast, I have always slept with a sheet over my ear because I think something about that freaked me out, that I just like, something was talking in my ear. Like I felt it. It wasn't in my dream. Like I felt it.
You were awake.
Yes. And now I just like keep my ears covered because I don't like even people whispering in my ear. It just weirds me out.
Like, so like trauma.
Yeah. That I didn't even think, like I knew I was weird like that, but I didn't know why. But when we talked about it once on the pod, I was like, oh my God, I think that's why I have that weird.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm going to whisper in your ear all
Don't. I don't like it. Yeah, when Casey does it too, I'm like, ugh, get away from me. And like he's trying to be like nice and like sensual or something. I'm like, get away.
It's not sexy.
Yeah.
Your husband's like, let me be romantic. And you're like swatting him like a fly.
I'd like to wear a cone, please. Just stay away from my ears.
My experience in that house, which I'm sorry.
Now she's like, let me beat your table.
Ashley doesn't think it happened, but we did talk about it, I think, on the pod. But you know when you know, so I believe it. But I was sitting in my room and I heard what sounded like the circulating like bunch of dogs barking or shrieking. It was the weirdest sound, but it was like going all around me.
Oh, that's strange.
And Ashley said, like, okay, all our neighbors had dogs. I was like, there is no way that's what it was. And like, you know that moment when you're scared and your eyes are just tearing up.
Yes.
But you can't cry or you can't scream.
Just paralyzed with
You
fear.
just like curl up and you're just like wait for it to stop, and it stopped and it was all silent and it was just super weird. Like, some experiences are, well, they're all kind of hard to explain. That one's extra hard. Right. It was scary.
But I mean, I always say trust your instinct. If it feels off, it's probably off. If it's something, you know, there are sometimes things can be explained and there are other times that it can't be. So that's why we kind of all dive into the world of the paranormal, because there's just the list of unexplained just grows and grows and grows.
Right. Yeah.
You know, we keep learning and educating ourselves, but like we get to a point where we go, there's nothing else that can explain this. Like, how would you explain that voice that you heard whispering, you know, going, you know, Ashley, how would you explain that if she's asleep? Your mom's probably in bed, you know, otherwise she would have, a mom's going to keep checking on you. If you didn't answer her, she'd be like, why didn't you answer me? So,
and I think we all agreed that, I don't think any of us felt like it was like a malevolent spirit or anything like that. So, I mean, we felt in general safe, but it didn't change the fact that, like, weird things happen that are hard to explain.
Yes. Yeah.
And I am definitely a skeptic, you know, but in general, like, I do feel like I can feel energy, you know, like if something really bad happened, like I feel a negative feeling. I just can't be, I don't have a premonition of, like, as to what that was.
Right.
And I never had those feelings at that house.
So like you didn't feel anything malevolent, nothing dark? You know?
No, just some weird things would happen sometimes. So maybe there were spirits or something. Maybe there were ghosts, but nothing that wanted to harm us or anything.
Right. Yeah. Probably a little girl. She probably, since y'all were little girls, looking for a playmate. Because a lot of times when they're little, I don't think they understand that they've passed. That's something that we've kind of seen sometimes, that when they're little, they don't have an understanding. And that's why it's good that while we are alive and living to discuss these things, so that, you know, some cultures, you know, everybody believes differently. And with this culture, with the American culture, we don't talk about it as much. And now it's pop culture. Now we've got the movies, we've got, which, I mean, they're sensationalized. So you guys have seen the horror movies, but it's good to educate and learn. That's why I was so glad to figure out that y'all had this like haunted real estate thing, because then in real estate, I know you come across this. How many people do you get asking you, is this house haunted, or of those questions? Like, how often do you get that?
It doesn't happen that often. I mean, I guess I don't want to say I wish it happened, because I don't know how involved I want to be in it, you know, because like I love learning about that world, but like walking and living in that world is different.
Definitely.
Now, I have had a couple of weird experiences. Sorry. Sorry about that. Where I remember showing an investor client a house, and we walked in and we both felt like there was something bad had happened in there. It just had a very heavy feeling in this house. And we were walking upstairs, and then we saw that there were locks outside the doors. And something, and you're like, what's the reason for that? That couldn't have been something good. Like, and there was a pallet on the ground in there. What? And so it was weird.
Like, was the pallet, like, what kind of pallet was it?
Like a pallet, like somebody had been sleeping in there or kept in there.
Huh.
I can't quite remember. I think it was like a foreclosure or something like that.
Okay.
So we didn't know the sellers or the history of what had happened there.
Right.
But definitely something off. And then when I was looking for a house in 2014, so this is before I was licensed, me, my mom, and our realtor walked into a house, and it was completely vacant. So nothing that was specifically giving off like, oh, there's blood on the floor, you know? But all three of us walked in, and we just stood in the living room, and we were like, no, like, I just feel so weird here. Something happened here, but like, I can't live here.
Right.
And my agent was like, if you told me you wanted this house, I wasn't even going to put an offer in for you because you're not going to live here. My mom, too, was like, bye, let's leave.
Yeah. That's everybody on board.
Yeah, and that's when you feel, and that was one of the times Casey didn't go, and I just wish he did just to have that experience, because he doesn't experience things like that really, but just to be like, but did you feel it too? Because three of us were like, this is freaking weird, but like, I just couldn't put your finger on it, but it was weird.
Yeah, and I live in Montrose, and I've lived in 2 houses that were 100 years old. And
really?
One was really creepy. I only lived there for a year. And I trust my best friend, Julie, her instincts. She always feels things that other people can't. You could feel something in this house for sure. We don't know what it is, but it's dark. I had one friend that wouldn't come over at all.
Oh, really? That bad?
Yeah, and it was only a feeling. You can nobody saw anything.
It makes you wonder. It's like, is it a spirit? Is it like just the history there?
So one time, our dumbasses are like 21, and we were like, let's just go in the attic and check out the attic.
Oh,
so we
man.
do, and we find this old teddy bear and a pair of little girls' underwear.
Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh. No. I don't remember this story at all.
What? I know. I've told it to you. That's all that's in the attic. And so our friend Jason backed it up, and he was ready to throw it out on Montrose Boulevard. I'm like, no, that's gonna
please don't.
That's gonna really bring the demons here. I don't know. We have to bury it or something. I don't know. But yeah, that was really scary, and I'm glad I don't live there anymore.
No
but that's
kidding.
the only thing we saw or found.
Wait, was that the same house with Elizabeth?
No.
Okay. That's a different story.
That's a different story.
Oh, we got to hear this one now. Now you started with that. Now
I thought that's the one she was going to tell. That one kind of spooked me.
No, that's that blue house that I lived in. That first one after I moved out of apartment. Anyways, then the last house I lived in, I had a roommate, Liz. We lived together for 5 years. And there was always that rotten egg smell in her bedroom.
Ooh.
And it left when she moved out. And I lived there for a year and a half after she moved out.
Almost like a sulfur smell?
Yeah. Ooh. Like that nasty demon rotten egg smell.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, Liz, you have a demon following
right. You just did an episode on attachments
You're
too, right?
You either need a new bar of soap or an exorcism, and we don't know which one today. But maybe you want to invest in both.
Yeah, I told her now husband, I was like, Liz might have a demon following you, so you might want to sage her when she's sleeping. I don't know.
May the power of Christ compel you.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Just in case.
You're like both, holy water bath along with some Epsom salts maybe. You're like, flush it out. Flush it out. How do you do that? Detox tea? A demon be gone?
Yeah.
Yes.
They make
it's like the bitch be gone sprays. The demon be gone bath.
Yes. They're like poo-pourri for demons.
There we go. Demon pourri.
Yes.
See, now you have to sell that on your podcast is the demon pourri.
I love it.
For all of that rotting egg smell.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
one time it did touch me, and I did not like it.
Oh, no. So it's not just you thinking you got touched.
I got slapped on the ass, and it was a hard slap. I was doing dishes.
Whoa.
And I felt that, and I was like, Elizabeth! Oh. She was in the shower, which is, far away. Oh. I was like, who the fuck touched me?
Like a slap. So
and it was painful, where you, it kind of itches because it hurts. You're just like, ow.
So he's freaky. He's like, hello. He's like, hey, call me daddy. Call me Ghosty.
Oh, no.
Call me Ghosty.
Yeah. But, and you could kind of feel that heaviness there. But I saw her when Liz left. And sorry, Liz, if you're listening. I don't think you're haunted or creepy, but it went away. It went away, and I even got a dog. My dog didn't act that weird. She would kind of bark into a corner, but
really,
we also know she's a little bit of a dumbass. So,
my sweet girl. She doesn't. Oh no, yeah, Maxine does do weird things because even in your house now, because she doesn't live in that house anymore. In her house now, like she stares at something and barks every once in a while.
I tell Ashley all the because she kind of has the body of a wolf. She's a big girl.
Nice,
but she like stands in that stance like she's staring, preparing to attack.
So she's got instinct.
And she's just looking, and
I always... Maybe instincts.
Maybe instinct. Like they say animals can see things that we can't.
Right.
So, and I believe that 100%.
And they probably can... Their sniffers, as they say, are different than ours, so their senses are picking up things we can't, Yeah. So super smellers. So maybe that's one thing we haven't even done enough research on yet is that what if there's a certain smell that they can smell with this, that comes with it? Like you smelt it.
High-pitched sound that only dogs can hear.
Yeah.
It could be really low.
Same thing. They might pick up on that energy when they get near it. I've seen that on other ghost shows to where they had dogs that would not go certain places. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, they've got an instinct. You got to trust them as much as you can. Yeah. Now, mine, she hears everything. Like if you shut the door, if I sit down my coffee cup, she starts to bark.
Yeah.
She's like, oh my God, the world is ending. You sat down a coffee cup.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
What's that about?
Really? And then whines,
Oh gosh.
Killer instinct.
Yeah. We got a cat in 2020. Actually, a cat chose us. He decided he lived at our house, and so anyway,
he adopted
we took in a cat. He did. Yeah, he did adopt us. So yeah, we took in a cat, and we moved in 2021. Sorry.
It's a sad move for you.
No, it's just like my nose just suddenly gets like stuck.
I'm emotional.
Sorry, you guys. Sorry. So we named him Gary, and I've never had a cat before. Gary would play with things that were not there, and so we were like, "Is this a cat thing, or is he a weirdo?" Didn't know, but I mean, he would pounce, and like he would get in that pounce position, and he would pounce it.
It was like you were doing the little red light thing to a cat, but there was no red light.
Yeah, definitely was seeing something and playing with something. He wouldn't get angry or hiss, which he would do that if he got angry, but not at whatever he was playing with.
So he was comfortable with it.
When we moved, never did it again.
Interesting.
And I was like, okay, that was weird. Because I realized after a year of living at our other house, I was like, oh my gosh, Casey, do you realize Gary doesn't play with nothing anymore? Like... He's sleeping or playing with one of our dogs, but now he doesn't do that.
So it's as if a spirit was like playing with it, or that's really neat.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Spirit. We don't talk about pet spirits enough.
I know. We have a cat that goes to one spot on the staircase and just meows at it. So we always say he's yelling at ghosts. Mm-hmm. Just one spot, and it's the only spot. And he just goes to it and he goes, roll, and then just continues his life, strangely. And I go, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, you told him.
Yeah.
Good job.
It's like I want to know what that's about, but maybe I don't.
It's like, maybe not. I don't even look up there anymore. I've seen on video trying to go, what spot is this? And it's the same spot, the same stair, the same thing. So cats are weird anyways, but I sure, just like dogs, they see the same things.
Yeah.
Different kind of stuff.
Yeah. But Gary definitely reacted to it differently because he was playing with it. Our dogs weren't playing with nothing. I mean, he would paw at things that weren't there, but the pouncing always got me because he just, you know how cats do that, and they what do they do? Their tail, like
you
sway
had that down
their tail, and I'm like, he's gonna jump on something, and I'm like, what are you looking at? I can't see anything. But
you ever do that where you squint and you're trying to see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like,
I think everyone does
am I
that.
Suddenly gonna see something here? No.
Right.
But I also think I probably shut my mind off to that because I know that I wouldn't react well to like seeing some what if not like a manifestation or apparition or something, that I would have a really hard time getting past that because I'm still sitting here hung up on something calling my name in my ear.
True.
You know, however many 20 years ago.
Right. We just talked about this last week. I think I would rather see something than...
So you want confirmation.
I don't like the feeling. I don't like that heavy feeling. I don't like anything touching me. I don't want to hear something whisper at me. Like, it's what I can't see that scares me the most.
Yeah, our imagination.
I would literally rather like see Samara come out of a well so I could be like, oh shit.
Wait, you want to see something come out of a well?
No.
I was like, what? I was like, I never want to see that. Like, that haunted me forever. dark.
Yeah. But at least I could see it and be like, hell no. Like, everybody run.
You're like, nope.
But like, if you can't see it, then you don't, like, is it always
true.
here?
See, what Casey and I were having this conversation the other night on the porch. I was saying, like, if it's like, I'm not the person who needs to know that aliens exist. I'm open-minded. They could exist. But this whole government stuff coming out with, aliens do exist. I'm like, see, if I see an alien, my brain's going to pop wide open to anything exists now.
Right.
Like, if I'm seeing this, anything's possible.
What if
like,
it's like
if
Mars attacks? Like, where they... That's what I'm picturing a lot of times. It's like, I'm the person that I would rather see that than think they're just like us, because then you're like, did I befriend an alien? It's like, we didn't know the whole time. It's like, is the president an alien? Like, you just
like
don't
Men in
know.
Black, and you see that these famous people are aliens.
Yes, that's what I think about. Remember when we had Michael Jackson when he's like, I'm Agent MJ or Agent J or something like that? I couldn't remember what it was, but it was like, really? And I go, wait, that makes sense.
It does make sense.
It does make sense for
I think we
Michael
all
Jackson.
thought that kind of did make sense.
Yes.
Because you're like, man, because I mean, there's no way. Like with Elon Musk, I'm like, gotta be.
Gotta
like, there's no one on this planet that's smart. Like there'd at least be, out of what, 1 billion people or how many billions of people there would be a higher percentage of people that's smart. And it's like, we're like 1, 2. And I'm like, no, he's not from here.
Well, and the technology that he has brought to the modern world and SpaceX.
Exactly.
So,
I've never seen him blink, I'm just saying.
I know, I was about to say, I'm sorry for sounding shallow, but he is a weird looking motherfucker. Like, if he's an alien, they didn't put his face on correctly.
It's missewn.
Like, we just need to, adjust.
He does have a different appearance.
There's
people, but I think it's also our instincts too, is that because, we're all so blended on this planet because we have capability to travel and do things, used to, you have, one tribe looked one way, like you knew where people were from because you had limited travel, limited capabilities. Now we travel the entire world. So imagine if aliens or, they're apparently traveling here. So who's to say if they're not, dressed like us, look like us, doing the same thing, to where now we have people like maybe even Elon Musk or somebody that they look, you just know the look is slightly off and you can't put your finger on it.
Well, Michael Jackson had that too.
I think his was surgery though.
Yeah,
that's true. He looked normal at one point.
He chose to do that.
That poor guy. Like, you know what the interesting is about that, even off topic, but interesting about that is they say it started with the nose surgery because he felt he resembled his father.
Yeah.
And his father, and his father was so abusive that, according to what, people have said, this is only, speculation, but that's why he hated his looks so much. And then the rest was the vitiligo, was trying to lighten the skin to blend it all together.
Yeah. His psyche had to be very damaged.
It had to be, especially getting famous so young.
I think that a lot when I think people get hundreds of plastic surgeries. I'm like, I just feel like something happened there, and you're just that
right.
That really bums me out.
Yeah,
it's interesting enough is that we swear that I've met an alien at least once. That it was the strangest thing I've ever happened. I was at Ambrisa Social Mexican Kitchen, and there's a group of people. We did a lot of business networking, which was great, meeting people from everywhere, and then there was a lady who was off, just like how you said Elon is off. There's, certain people you meet, like they're off, Sometimes, like with our daughter, she has autism. So sometimes, she goes, oh, I feel like I'm a little off, So sensory issues. With Elon, he says he is autistic as well, but there's just something else.
Yeah.
This woman, it was something else. It wasn't like she had autism or like that she had sensory issues.
Right.
It was off. Her presence, like when you said living in that house, you feel the heavy feeling. This was an eerie feeling, but not bad, but it was weird.
It's like you're uncomfortable, like you're in my space.
Yes.
But what is it in our biology that feels that? Like, that's what's interesting to me.
What makes the hair rise up on
your body? But what in my body is like, it knows something isn't right there, and I'm like having an internal reaction to it.
Yeah,
like I just find
your body's reacting, but your brain doesn't know what's happening.
But
so
what is it in my ancient DNA? Like, yes, with my instincts, but like my ancient DNA that is saying something about you is not right.
Right.
Yeah, like when you meet somebody, some really creepy person or whatever, and you're like, I can't say what about you is just really turning me off right now, but I feel it. And my lady instinct is saying turn around and walk off.
You're like, get away. Mine is from touches I can usually sense, and sometimes with my husband used to say, I would pick a word for people, and everybody would have a word. And it would be really, really, it's like a flashing light above them. That was with one of my gifts, was seeing a word above people. Like there was a meeting we had years ago. We met somebody and it was a terrible word. And I was like, we have to leave. And I kept squeezing my husband's hand going, we have to leave, we have to leave. And sure enough, this person turned out to be very creepy. Like even he had the same instinct without having the abilities. Well, this woman at Ambriza Social Mexican Kitchen, she was just like, her presence arrived before she did towards me.
That's fascinating.
And she walks right up to me. And it's one of those, that's why I said Elon doesn't blink. She didn't blink.
I don't like
she
that.
She didn't blink.
So weird.
And she puts her hand and touches me and she goes, you're an interesting human.
What?
And then I went, okay, and then walked away. And I was like,
I'm an earthling. I don't know what you are.
Doing something to mess with me? Because I always try to go logical first. Paranormal is usually secondary for me. I go logical first. I go, maybe she's messing with me. I turn around. The guy sitting behind me and the girl next to him goes, was that an alien?
What?
I went, so everyone at this table is all going, there's something off with this lady. And she was... she had like a very Nordic look. She had very pale skin, a perfect skin, not a flaw. Beautiful blue
like
eyes.
Not a pore on her face.
Yes, like you said, like it's
poreless
sewn
freaks
on.
me out.
See, like not a pore, and then beautiful blonde hair, exceptionally tall, and I was like, wow, and I was like, that's an impressive person. I'm like, I was like, I'm an interesting human. So I think that all the time. I'm like, I guess I'm an interesting human. It's like, at least she said I was human, not like, hey, freak, So I'm thankful that she didn't go, hi, or hey, bitch, how's it going? I was like, it was kind. I was interesting. So.
Yeah.
But it's really weird how you come across things.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But like you said, you could see a word above somebody or it's touch. Like for me, it's eyes. I feel like Windows I know so much about people by their eyes, and I'm like, nope, your eyes are off. Like I can't look at you. Right. There's something that's just really creeping me out about eyes.
It's the windows to the soul.
It is, and I've tried to research that because I find that just so fascinating. That why, but it's one of the only thing in our bodies we can't control. You can't control pupils dilating or anything like that, and so
not without drops.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But it's like if you're embarrassed or, you like somebody or whatever, it's the only thing about you. You can't control that. So there is something to that. Like it's just our most basic part of us. Like
for sure.
No, you definitely have that strength. There's, I feel like I have it minorly. But there's someone around our family, I will say that Ashley always said he has really creepy eyes.
Ooh.
Yes, his eyes just...
Super
I didn't even
creepy.
want to look at him because he really freaked me out.
I say trust your instincts.
Yeah, and he's since done some questionable things. I'm like, I get it. See? I get the eyes.
You're like, now I get it.
Those fucking eyes. Stop.
You're like, oh man, they turn red, I'm out.
I don't think I've ever been wrong about a person's eyes.
See?
And I'm not overly paranoid, but if somebody gives me those weird eyes, I'm like, done. You're not coming back from those weird eyes that you just gave me or whatever I saw for that flash of a second. Right. I'm not coming back from that.
Right. I'm telling you, trust your instincts on stuff like that.
Yeah.
So going back to our real estate, I was like, we got so far, but it was so great.
We did. We were talking about paranormal experiences.
And I'm telling you, I love it. That's why I said I learned from so many people's experiences, and especially other people that are thinking, they might relate to the same thing, going, I felt a heaviness in my house, or I smelt the same thing. I didn't know that's what it was.
Yeah.
Because that's why I said part of this is educating people.
If you smell sulfur, you might be getting slapped on the butt.
You might be getting slapped on the ass.
You watch your butt.
With Ghost Daddy. Ghost Daddy.
Ghost Daddy.
God. No. Yeah.
There's a Ghost Whisperer, Ghost Daddy. We got them all.
It's not the daddy I want.
Right.
Everyone's got to be doing something.
Right. So I was going to ask you, in real estate, with outside of your podcast and what you do, there's a lot of rules that come with that. If a person passes away in the home or a murder, what are the rules behind that? I always get confused. When we went looking for houses, I think I drove my friend crazy because I walked in one house and walked straight out and I went, nope. And she goes, what now? For the love of God, we've seen 100 houses. And I go, you have to tell me if someone died here. She goes, well, not technically, only if they're murdered. Is that true?
That is true. Yep. And the way that Texas words it, I don't have it completely memorized, but it's kind of funny. They don't say just murder you have to disclose. They say you don't have to disclose natural causes, suicide,
not
or
even suicide?
like injury that's not related to the material effect of the house. Wow. But they don't explicitly say murder, but yes, you don't. Right. Murder is the only thing you have to disclose.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I always wondered that because I there's always so many misconceptions out there because I was like, you have to tell me if someone was murdered here. And she's so great. She's my friend Anya. She was just so patient with me because I was sitting there like every house was something. And this one I said, no, I'm telling you, a man died here. An old man died here. I feel this. I know this. And then so she goes, okay, let me go look up the information. I can't give you all these details. She goes, but I will respect their privacy. I will look this up. She starts coming back laughing. I said, I told you. I told you. I said, I smell the mothballs. I was like, she goes, well, people die all the time. She's very respectful. She's very sweet. And with me, I'm one of those, I go, no, because what if he died in his underwear? And then he comes back in the middle of the night and he's like, wiener waggling at me. And he's like, woo, like I don't know if he was a pervert or what. It's like, nope. If I know someone has passed in this house, I'm not living here. But what we don't realize is how many people have passed in their homes. And it doesn't mean that your home's going to be haunted. It doesn't mean that person going to wiener waggle at you. But I mean,
Lainey, what would be the line of that guy? Wiener waggling.
There we go.
What would be the line? Ask me about my wiener.
I knew he'd work it in somewhere.
I felt that ghost would ask me about my wiener.
That's
what he would
say in the middle of the night. I just know it. Oh my goodness. So that was one of my main questions as well. So you guys, how many podcasts have y'all done with haunted real estate?
25.
Yeah, I think 25.
Nice.
Yep.
Very cool. So what is one of your favorite episodes?
One of my favorite episodes, just researching it was really interesting to me, was the Watcher House.
Oh.
Yeah, the Watcher House in New York. We watched...
That's just such the letters are so creepy.
The letters?
From the Watcher.
Oh, yeah.
The ones where they mailed it. Did they have a Netflix special on that?
They did.
They
yeah.
did.
Okay,
so
that's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, we all watched that, and I was like, this is interesting. Of course, now I need to know what really happened.
Right.
And what really happened is just about equally as creepy.
Of course.
I mean, they of course use creative licensing for characters and stuff like that. The realtor was super creepy.
Right.
But what's her name? Jennifer
Coolidge.
Jennifer Coolidge just brings such a fun element to anything she's ever in.
I
I love
love
her.
Yes.
But yeah, that one was super creepy. But one of our more popular ones is The Conjuring House. Pretty much anything that was covered under Ed and Lorraine Warren, who are the most paranormal investigators in the country. Those have been our most popular episodes and have come upon request. So
really,
yeah,
so you get
requesting
requests
those. Mm-hmm.
So people, if they want to get another place for you guys to research and your different ways that they can actually, they email you, or how can they get in touch with you?
They do. Yep. They email us at hauntedrepod@gmail.com, or they just send us a private message on our Instagram. Even in we ask people if they want to Venmo to the show or anything like that, to always please send a request of something that you want to hear.
Very nice.
So we're doing one upon request today, which is Colorado. So we will be recording a Colorado episode later today.
Yeah.
Very cool. That's really awesome.
I think my favorite episode's Huska Castle. I love that
Castles
one so
are cool.
much. Yeah. And I really like the ones in other countries. So that's in Czech Republic. That was our first episode, or the second.
Yeah, that was one of our early episodes that we did.
The audio's not great. We were in our closet at the time. But
and yeah, I brought in just some camping chairs out of the garage, and it literally, we were in the closet with the light off, and just had my laptop illuminating,
Wow.
and a cricket was crawling in my hair. And so all of a sudden in the audio,
funny.
I start screaming bloody murder because I don't know what it is in my hair. And Lainey throws on the light, and it was
Probably like
a grasshopper.
Probably a good omen, and then you're like, get off me.
It was the best timing though, because we were talking about the mouth of hell in Huska Castle.
Oh my God.
And supposedly people would be like lowered in there, and they would come up. They would scream bloody murder. They would come up looking aged.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
man.
she's talking about this guy screaming bloody murder. Then you just hear,
Yeah. And it was all genuine.
Because I don't know what she's screaming at. I'm just, along
like,
for the
she's
ride.
reenacting
She just
this
screams.
scream.
Yeah, she just screams with me because she doesn't know what's happening.
I could do that too.
I scream all the time, though. I'm just a jumpy person.
Yeah, if you scream, Lainey will scream. If you cry, Lainey will probably cry too.
There you go. Solidarity.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, this has been really great. I mean, I've learned a lot so much. And where can they find you? They find Spotify?
Yeah, we're Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music.
Very nice.
We're on quite a few. There's a Samsung and a
Yeah, I
couple
think we're
I've
pretty
never
much
heard
on
of.
all the platforms that you can get a podcast from.
Yeah.
Perfect. And that's going to be Haunted Real Estate.
Yes, we are Haunted Real Estate. Our Instagram is haunted.real.estate.
Very nice. Very easy to find. I
Yeah.
love it. Well, thank y'all for coming on our show
Thank you
today.
so much for having
I've
us.
learned so much. I know we ended up veering off topic for a little bit. It was great
We love
because
that.
I love to hear about people's experiences,
Yeah.
especially you never know what's out there.
Yeah.
That's why we all have podcasts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like to hear other people's experiences too because I think we all can feel different kind of energies, and it's fun hearing
It's
how
something
other
that
people
connects us. It connects you to people you don't know because we all have something.
For sure.
Some people can deny it as much as they want, but
Right. Even the
It's-
skeptics say there's things that we can't explain. So no matter what.
Absolutely.
Well, thank y'all again so much.
well, thank you.
And hopefully, maybe you guys can come on an adventure with us one time.
We would
if
love
you're
it.
brave
Love
enough,
to.
we'll take you out on the
Yeah.
adventure. Even if it's just impromptu, we'll go out there and have some fun.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
We're into it.
Yeah.
When the weather's cooler, not 109 degrees.
Yes, when it's not
Yes.
113 heat index.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh gosh, it's
Well,
terrible.
Thank you for having us. We do appreciate it. You've been the
this
hostess
was really
with
fun.
the mostest.
The ghost hostess with the most.
Yes.
Well, thank y'all so much. I appreciate it. And thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to check them out. And don't forget to subscribe to our channels as well on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, and all the channels that are out there. Thanks again.